Hi, people of the internet. Welcome back to Bridge Conversations. This is your favorite tech podcast. With me again, is the super amazing, ever blazing Antonio Corey.
Many thanks. Thank you very much.
I know he's your favorite boy, how to do it. Melanin pumping, Sugar Daddy of Lagos, tech bro, app guru, the rich boy. My name is Mato Bobo. The last time we were here, we talked a lot about how AI can render each and every one of us jobless. And if you didn't get that, you can check the last episode. It was very, very educative and informative. So today we'll be talking about the new announcement by Apple. Apple released a new color. Yeah, it's not a new phone actually. In the 14 series. So is it the Pro or the ordinary 14? You get to know in the podcast. And also we'll be talking about the rise and fall of SVB. And alongside that, we'll talk about a minimum wage and used iPhone. That is the differential today, That we're talking about the minimum wage and the new iPhone. But Anthony, I just want to ask you. So what do you feel about Apple releasing, or let me say introducing rather, let me use that word, introducing new colors at the media?
A few days ago, Apple just refreshed their website with a new color of the iPhone 14, the regular iPhone 14 and the iPhone 14 Plus. No love shown to the Pro series this time. I've always thought it was a good strategy for marketing because when they release a new iPhone, the hype dies after a few months. So I think it's a brilliant idea when they just release a new, for them it's always a new color mid-cycle of the year because they release their new iPhones every September, and 6 months down the line after September is usually February, March. Yeah. So they just drop a new color just to get the press talking about them again. And I think it works every single time because here we are again talking about the iPhone 14 yet again. So I think it's a brilliant idea. And they've been doing this for a long time, for 4 to 5 years now, I think.
Yeah.
It used to be the product red.
Yeah.
Product red from the iPhone 8 series.
iPhone
7 series even. That's even more than 5 years ago. And it just gets people talking. I know they would like to say they used to, donate part of the money
to charity.
Yes, for the product red specifically, but I think they've stopped doing that now. I don't know, but
charity begins at home.
Yeah, so but now it's the yellow color for the new iPhone, and we are talking about it again, even 6 months after being released. So I think it's a good strategy. Every company should adopt that strategy. I think it's a very good strategy. Like in our own case, what can we do 6 months later?
6 months later. But
or not necessarily 6 months.
The main question is, I just want to ask, why yellow this year? I guess it has always been the release green.
Yeah.
The release green last year.
Green was last year.
So you think why yellow? So if you're in yellow house in secondary school or primary school, up yellow house, the greenhouse people won last year.
Just to destabilize it, when was the last yellow iPhone?
iPhone XR had yellow. Yes, it does.
iPhone 11 had yellow. So not XR, is iPhone 11. Just to show that iPhone XR was very popular. Most people I asked the question said XR, but there was 11 after XR, which came naturally in yellow.
But
with those 6 colors that they.
But the yellow no blue.
Well, it's just XR. XR is just too popular. I don't know what it is about the phone.
XR is blown.
It's a good phone. I think if we check the stats, they will sell very well. So that's basically it. That's the biggest news this year. Apple released a new color for the iPhone 14.
Whenever Apple releases something,
the biggest news
is the biggest news.
The biggest tech news. Really, if it always has, what do they call it? Traction, engagement. Exactly. Anybody that just go to YouTube now, all the people that posted about the yellow iPhone, they steady get 5 million, 6 million views. Who does that? Like, it's just a new color. Not a new
product.
Phone is 6 months old and they just got a new color.
That is just to tell you with this point of mine, I hope iOS is better than Android. Thank you.
Specifically, we'll get to that point. Thank God you're having the conversation in this episode. So I don't have to talk. We'll talk about that.
iOS is better than Android, guys. I just want us to digress a bit and talk about this. This is a topic that we take very lightly in Nigeria, and it's affecting us really.
Yeah.
And it's even what we even deal with day to day as people who are involved in either IT sale or people that use IT a lot or who are into tech. That is our minimum wage and versus in line with vis-a-vis the used iPhone.
Okay, so I think last week I saw this article by Tech Cabal, and I shared it to Matthew at the time. Although I forced him to read it because if you don't force him, everything is about him. He wants to be doing hype. This is tech podcast. Get out. So, and when I saw it, I thought it hit home a lot. I'll share it. I'll put the link of the article in the share notes of the podcast. But I'll just read a little bit about it, then we'll talk about it and see what we feel. Inside Nigeria's used iPhone market. So what caught my eye was the stats that they threw up. So let me just read a bit of it. It said, in a country with over 90 million people facing poverty, right, being able to afford high-end mobile gadgets is a privilege. And iPhones are popular in Nigeria for being a marker of wealth and class. Okay. So the phone is not even for use, it's just for marker. It's just a marker for wealth and class. So anyways, moving on. That's not what I want to talk about today. 2 things that set you apart from the average Nigerians. You have an iPhone now, you're separate from the average Nigerian, right? So, although there are 170 million mobile subscriptions in the country, but only 10 to 20% of this population actually have a smartphone. I know I've said something about this before. 10-20% of 170 million people use a smartphone in Nigeria. That's very bad.
That's very, very, very low.
But it's about to get worse. Let me continue reading. So if 10% of 170 million, let's say 17 million. Okay, let's just use 20 million
20 million people.
20 million people use smartphone in Nigeria. Of that 20 million people, right, Android users make up 85% of that 20 million. I've said this before. I know you feel like iPhone is very popular in Nigeria. Maybe in the US, yes. But in Nigeria, I don't know. It's just the people you have around you. People are rich kids and all. So you see iPhone every now and then. But in the real grand scheme of things, iPhones make up only 10% of these 20 million people. So in Nigeria, we have only about 2 million people using iPhones. And this iPhone doesn't cover the latest and the greatest. We can start from iPhone 6. Mostly Android.
One person can have 3 iPhones.
Mostly Android. Yeah, so iPhone 6 all the way to iPhone 14 nowadays. So that's 10% of these 20 million people use iPhone. I don't know what the rest smartphone people use. 85 plus 10 is 95. The remaining 5%, what are they using?
No, there isn't Lumia.
BlackBerry
there isn't Windows.
And the rest. Well, I like sticking to the end before leaving. So, but maybe that's what they're doing. So that's not even the point of the conversation. What gets my attention the most is that the bulk of this iPhone, like these 2 million iPhones that are in Nigeria now, the bulk of these 2 million iPhones are actually used iPhones.
Yeah.
And I think the reason is glaring, right? We are not very rich in this country. We have very rich people and then the rest of us. There is no middle ground. There is no, I don't know what the word is. I don't know if you can help me. There is no
middle class.
There's no middle class.
It's either you are rich
or you are very
poor.
Yes. So, and what we can now naturally do to get iPhones is to just get a used one. And see, to get a brand new iPhone 14 these days, how many months' salary will you use? How many minimum wages will you use to get a new iPhone 14? So, because iPhone 14 is the newest phone now.
Our minimum wage in Nigeria
is,
according to the federal government of Nigeria.
Speak up, your voice is low. Why you?
I'm no. This is a moment I just have to be humble.
It's emotional topic.
It's emotional topic. Where are you seeing money?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
Our, hey, our minimum wage in Nigeria is 30,000 naira.
yeah.
To get
Yeah.
an iPhone 14
The entry level,
in
yes.
the market now, you have above 650,000 naira
Jesus.
to
So
get it.
six hundred and fifty
Let's use
thousand.
650,000 naira.
Let's do 600,000.
Or let's use 600,000.
Let's do 600,000. 600,000
divided by 30.
divided by 30,000.
That should be your 20-month salary.
So by the time,
Without gross salary,
yes.
without tax.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about tax, but
Yes, now gross salary now.
yeah. So you see how pathetic it is. 20 months salary to buy an
A
entry level,
smartphone. That means
smartphone.
by the time you're saving up to buy, there's another new iPhone.
There's a new iPhone to buy. So
you cannot buy that one.
So you don't buy the older one anymore.
Yeah. You can't buy the new one. You still buy the older one.
You can't. No, I'm saying now you started saving.
Okay, but you're now 20 months.
12 months down the line, your money is not complete.
Yeah,
the new iPhone comes out
20 months.
So you just keep saving. So you don't buy that one.
So you just keep saving.
You wait.
Yeah.
So
you keep doing it.
8 months after, that's 12 plus 8, you get 21. Now you finally have money to get the new iPhone. Now you're buying the second generation iPhone of the iPhone you started saving for. Man, I don't know. It's really pathetic.
So that's why you just have to go for, please, I need premium
used. Open box. Close the box back. Who opened it?
Oga, seal it. Seal that box because I don't know what you are looking for.
It's crazy, man.
I have someone who said last week that she wanted to get a phone, and she was like, I told her the phone is this amount. I guess she said she likes how 12 Pro looks.
Right.
I said, if yours like because of financial constraints, instead of you getting a 13 Pro, 12 Pro is actually is a good phone.
Yes.
I told her the amount. She was like, how much will I rent a shop?
Well, that's another conversation because you either want to rent a shop or you want to buy a phone. You cannot be asking me that question. I'm not Emefiele. I'm not Buhari. I have no hand in this. We are all in this together. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to sell. So I don't know.
So it is that pathetic that we use that the used iPhone market is the main market.
It's actually the main market. Like I said, 85% of the iPhones
is the main market.
I promise you, 85% of the market of the iPhones you see are used. They were not new. To add to that, the new ones you think they are new. Should I spill these beans?
They are new.
Okay, let's just leave it at that.
And another thing is this: I want to buy a new iPhone. This is what's happening now in the market.
Yeah,
I want to buy a new iPhone. They will now say, I want cheap unlocked.
Oh yeah, that's another. I don't know. I don't. Hey Jesus. Yeah. So basically, it's just we are generally poor people in Nigeria.
Don't say poor.
You
are those who don't really have money.
Yeah, well, if you want to use it like that. So it just explains why used market is very popular in this part of the world, right? So, and this statistic is just covering only iPhone users, right? Like I said, 10% of 10% of the
of smartphone
users use iPhones. Then there's the other 85%, which is Android users. The entry level for Android phones is lower, so you can really get a new phone. So maybe the used to new ratio will not be as bad as the iPhone one because what it means now when 10% of I don't think they put any stats for how many percent of that 10% is new.
Yes.
So, but for Android, I think it's going to be like a 50-50 base because used market for Android is usually all over the place because there's so many brands, there's so many quality standards. It's too difficult to have one quality standard for so many manufacturers. Why it's easier for Apple is because it's just one brand and they can manage their quality, and you know what you're getting. You're getting an iPhone, you know you're getting an iPhone. So for Android, is going to be the ratio is going to be a little bit different because of the price. Like I said, if you are going to use more than 10 times your minimum wage to get a phone, right? That's a lot. And they talked about more in the article. So I'm going to share that so you can just read and get more idea. But that's just basically what I wanted to point out: how much money we use to buy smartphones in this part of the world, compared to our what do they call it, minimum wage,
Yeah,
right?
in Lagos, Nigeria, I would say some people are relatively poor,
Yeah,
but by the time you look at the gadgets that they use, you will see that they are relatively rich.
if you see,
There are a lot of industries in Nigeria. We have the boyfriend and girlfriend industry, where the boy is the sole proprietor and the sole provider and the sponsor of
of this
of the
lifestyle.
relationship and lifestyle of the particular girl. And there's this other industry also, apart from the boyfriend girlfriend industry,
Yeah.
that we call the sugar daddy industry.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
So we have to factor some variables.
okay.
In
So
as a trend
well,
economics, you have to factor some
you just
variables.
remembered your degree now.
When when y is equals to
X.
your income is equals to the function.
Well, so what I'm trying to say is many people are using phones they cannot afford, and miraculously they are using it.
Miracle with Jesus.
Miraculously they are using it. So I don't even want to dive into.
Wait till Kaiji don't see for kitchen.
I don't want to dive
Wait
into
till Adamu
that
don't see for gates.
conversation. So what you have is some people are making this money,
Yeah.
and they're distributing the wealth.
Like wealth.
Yeah.
There's all wealth redistribution.
Wealth redistribution. Yeah. So you see someone making a lot of money, he gets a phone for himself,
Yeah, now.
he gets a phone for his wife,
Yeah.
he gets a phone for. I don't want to make this normal. At
No,
all.
it's just like when you see Funke or Chioma, who is a makeup artist, maybe Ojodu Beggar.
Yeah.
And the only time when she does makeup is when mommy Anita is going for one bay. And she does makeup of 5K for mommy Anita. How many 5Ks
Can make up
the money that bought that 13 Pro Max that is in the hand of Chioma?
that she uses to make content.
Yeah.
That's
So-
what they'll say they are using. Well, bro,
But Chioma
many
is,
things do not add up.
Chioma is doing a 5K to pack 1 million.
And somehow she can afford these phones. Well, how many phones do you use? You use one phone.
I use a phone.
How are you able to afford the phone you are using currently?
Hey. Add N money. Well, okay. I was using two phones.
Right.
Prior to this phone, I guess yes. When I was using my XS Max, I was using two phones. I was in XS Max and iPhone 7 at a point. Then from my iPhone 7, I switched to iPhone SE at a point. So when I got this phone, luckily enough, it was dual SIM, the iPhone dual SIM,
Yeah.
physical SIM.
Yeah.
So my other SIM in my SE, put it in my phone, I don't have to carry load.
Okay.
Then I gave my SE, I did give away
Okay.
to a male, to my brother.
He said to me,
Because some men, man do man.
why do you have to
Some
spend
sugar
that?
daddies do giveaways to the other gender.
Right.
But I'm not saying you cannot do a giveaway to the other gender.
By all means, do what you need to do.
Anything that will make you happy at night and make you sleep well.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so I use two phones. I've always used two phones for the longest. I'm primarily an Android user.
And you are so complicated.
The idea was, for me, I think, was to always have a phone on. So I don't put my main SIM card in the Android. Everything we do on our phones are internet based. So just for calls and this thing, I don't need my main SIM card in that phone. So I just got a smaller phone, usually a touchlight. So as things began to progress, I started selling.
When you made money.
Not made money. I started selling iPhones and high-end gadgets. So I had to replace the touchlight phone with an iPhone.
You have to use what you say.
Exactly, yeah. So I don't look like a fraudster. They're selling iPhones and I don't use. So that's basically why I use an iPhone and an Android, just to have two phones. One, my main line must not die. So, but this excuse is we are far gone, because right now both of them don't die. My Android lasts forever. Basically, I don't charge it at home. I only charge it here in the office. And if I get home, I press it until I sleep. I press it when I wake up. So battery is not the problem anymore, at least in 2023. So, but I said all that to say that I use two phones, and they're not the highest end per se, but they get the job done, right? I use them like a mid-range Android and a respectable iPhone. So
If you are using a used iPhone, don't be intimidated by someone who is using a brand new iPhone. Your time will come. Uh, Definitely your time will come. And also just know that there are a lot of yous, that are using the iPhone. You are not the only one in this space.
oh yeah, please don't ever feel like you are using an iPhone and it affects your self-esteem. Never. You already spent a lot of money to get this iPhone, and it's basically the norm.
So what happened to Silicon Valley Bank?
Because I'm tech vast, not vast, but I'm just in the tech bubble. I don't take note of everything, but I see everything. So I know I have an idea of just everything that happens. So it's finance, tech, not really what I'm interested in, but I just I guess it just passed my radar and I saw it, and I'm like, let's just talk about it. We'll not talk about too many details, because this is not a finance program and this is not financial advice. We don't take financial advice
Don't take it from
from
me.
from two blokes on the internet and computer. So, but then just to explain what happened is just to explain the bank. SVB is a bank in Silicon Valley, like created for Silicon Valley people, because in Silicon Valley is where you get most of the tech startups. That's where most of them start their their operations. Mention all the big tech companies, Apple, Microsoft, all of them started in that locality in the US. So this bank came out from that place, and what it catered for was mostly these startups. And the startups that finally become successful are not as many as we hear them, but there are a lot of them that start. And when they start, they raise seed money, and most of this seed money is deposited in SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, and that's the bulk of their business. They have personal accounts, but it's not what drives them. What they have is seed money, large money for corporations, for payroll and operations of these startups. So what happened is, and standard practice for banks, that when they get deposit like that, they invest most of the money
Yeah.
to make more money. That's how banks stay afloat, really. They take all our money and invest in a real business and get some interest back with the money. So, and that's how they make money. But then this time, the standard practice, they invested a large chunk of the money in the United States bonds. I know all these things because I read it yesterday night. So it's not something. It's not something
He's saying that like
not something I internalize, but
like a fellow.
so they invested in the United States bonds. I don't even know what bonds are, but I've been hearing them. Maybe you can explain
shares
as
and bonds.
financial bro can explain. So they invested in bonds, and I read that bonds and interest are inversely proportional. If one is going up, the other one is
Bonds
coming
and
down.
interest rates.
Interest rates, exactly. If one is going up, the other one is coming down. If one is going down, the other one is going up.
Inversely proportional.
Exactly. So what happened is, because of inflation in the United States government started to raise interest rates. So it told on the bonds that they bought, and the value of their money started to depreciate drastically, like very quickly. This happened like last week or beginning of March anyway, it happened. So what they started doing was to start selling their bonds. And bonds are like long-term investment. They don't mature quickly. So when you buy them, you have to wait years and years before you get any dividend on your money. So they started to sell them at while it was losing money, while it was losing value, they started to just sell them quickly, and they lost most of their money. Because of this panic, people heard, like most of this company heard, and they started withdrawing their money. And it's just like the natural death of most banks. When people start withdrawing all their money at the same time, some settled, some did not settle. So it got to a point they are on zero, the bonds are dropping, everything is just helter skelter. Everyone running helter skelter, and at the end of the day, they could not reconcile all their accounts, and that's why the bank came to bankruptcy, and they cannot whatever the Shah failed, and if it failed, and this can actually happen to any traditional bank, because most of all the money we have in our deposits, if you ask all the banks to bring all of them at the same time, it's going to be difficult because they have them invested in different areas. So they need to. So what happens is this guy is withdrawing, this person is not withdrawing. They take this person's money, pay this person's money. At the end of the day, everybody gets money that they need. So you don't need all your money at the same time, and that's what happened to SVBank.
So Silicon Valley Bank was sold at a very good price of £1. Hey, Jesus Christ. $1.21.
$1.21 or £1 British.
It has been sold to HSBC. I guess HSBC is it not a British bank?
Let me confirm. Okay, it's another bank, so it's a multinational bank.
It's a multinational bank.
Yeah.
So it is
based in the UK.
So Silicon Valley Bank is now absorbed into the HSBC. Just hope that HSBC can reach out to the customers with SVB earlier on and gain their trust.
Right.
That's just what I just hope they can gain the trust of customers, because when a bank fails, we saw what happened now. We saw what happened during this Naira, whatever, the Naira palaver that CBN has said, sorry, you can now be spending your own notes back. And how the banks frustrated a lot of business.
It's crazy, man.
We will not be mentioning names in our podcast because
it is crazy.
No bank sponsored this podcast, so we'll not be mentioning names. But a lot of commercial banks, we now saw needs for fintechs, and our fintechs now are giving commercial banks a run for their money.
Right.
So that's just basically all what you have to say about the SVB.
Okay. Yeah. So it's an unfortunate situation, and like I said, it can happen to anybody. Everybody just what kickstarted it was that United States government raised interest and
government policies now.
Maybe we'll talk about this another time, but it's just giving me crypto vibes. I don't like cryptocurrency is borderline betting, but I think we'll just have that conversation in another episode, because I don't want to
crypto
fight.
Is illegal.
I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight in this episode. So let's just move on.
So guys, it's another whooping ass time. I'm going to whoop your favorites ass.
So
the trivia.
I'm disappointed to say that I'm tied on the same point with a hype man on a tech podcast or tech quiz. How is that even possible? I don't know. But I think I'll regain my my lead back. So I think we'll change the way we answer it. We'll read all the questions we want to answer. We'll just answer once, and so it's just to save time. For our question number 1 today, what was the first mobile phone with internet connectivity? Option 1, iPhone. Option 2, Nokia 9000 communicator, Motorola 7500, or BlackBerry 850. That's the first question. Second question is, what is the name of the oldest programming language still in use today? I think we've answered this question before.
No, we haven't.
We haven't?
We haven't.
Okay. Anyway, what is the name of the oldest programming language still in use today? MATLAB, Fortran, Ada, or COBOL? Then the last question is, which year did Apple launch the Macintosh 128K? All right, so let's just answer quickly and move on.
All right,
Are you done?
that's all.
Are you done?
Disclaimer: I'm not a tech bro. A disclaimer, guys. I'm not a tech bro. Tech bro is thinking of me. I've done my best and I've left the rest.
All right, so let's just check for the answers. I have my answers locked in. You have your answers locked in. Make out your answer. We answered most of them correctly. So the same way. So let's just check for the correct answer. What was the first smartphone with internet connectivity? Malik. We both got it right. Nokia 9000. Why this guy they draw with me? I'm not supposed to draw with hype man. Yeah?
Help my way, Sabi.
Hype man is they drag tech with me. So if I can't come learn tech now, I be learn hype man, you go constantly beat me for that. Of course, it's Fortran. The oldest programming language still in use today
It's Fortran.
is
Now.
Fortran.
Fortran. No.
And for the final question, what year did Apple make? Or what year did Apple launch the Macintosh?
I had no
phone
idea about
28K?
that.
I think this is going to be our separator or our divider.
I had no
Because
idea
we'll be answering
about
the same
that.
way. I think for the options, it's going to be 1983 because they released it in
January.
January 1984.
So we both failed it.
Why did they rush the talk say we both
So we
failed?
both failed it.
And I
So guys,
never talk say I been wrong.
so guys,
So
he escaped
we are
whooping.
still tied.
He escaped whooping today. I'll pity him.
Right.
He escaped whooping.
Oga, close the podcast. Let's go.
So he escaped whooping. Actually, he's my boy. No, I don't want to be too forward. That's why I'm just, I'm a tech hype guru. So
I was supposed to draw with hype man, but no, I don't.
So guys, that was all to this episode. We'll be seeing you next episode.
I'm all for go court.
You know I will do it now. Till then, just stay safe, stay happy, and stay jiggy because this is the Bridge Conversations.